I have a degree from Parsons in New York. I also am a fine artist. I've had some gallery showings. Okay, currently I do a lot of landscape design. Kind of like that was what was needed right now. I think the unique position that I come from is it's not a horticultural background, it's not a strictly architectural background, but I'm able to merge all the different elements. Environmental design works at all different scales. And so this whole mid-century thing about the indoor-outdoor, bringing the outdoors in and indoors out is like very applicable to that discipline. Well, my motivation, I guess it had three parts. The first part was like impulsive. I wasn't really looking for a house. And so I came around the corner and I saw this house and it was like, wow. It had a lot of bushes around it and I thought I could do this. And then, of course, I contacted Terry and got a look inside, and the floor plan was just awesome. And so it was a good location, it was a beautiful house. So the second part was like the logic kicked in. It's like, you know, what's the neighborhood like? What's the architecture like? How much work am I going to have to do? Is this something I can work with? And then it was just the right time for me to start doing this. I spend a lot of my time making other people's dreams come true. And this was a chance for me to work, you know, just for myself and what I see needed to be done. And it was like creating a painting or an artwork, and all those different things. So I was my own client. It was kind of fun. My goal was to kind of not bring it back historically, but to kind of, I use the word flowering, to let it flower. And it's kind of like a second time around sort of thing for this house, because it was like originally built in a particular era, and now all these things have happened historically and technologically, aesthetically. And so if the architect were building this house now, I think his choices would be very close to what I chose to do with this house. And it's amazing how those early mid-century homes have influenced our day-to-day in ways that we don't even realize anymore. It's seamless. Personalized rooms was really key, and that was something that the architect, Edward Fickett, was really in the forefront of doing. In fact, he was chided for doing that. It was like, why do you want to open this up and not have all separate rooms? When you look at the older traditional styles of architecture, it's a bunch of little rooms, and a lot of the designs are like blocks that are set down in kind of a four-square design or whatever, which was appropriate for the era and the building materials. But now, and especially here in Southern California, we've just opened everything up. There's light, there's beautiful climate, there's reasons to bring the outdoors in here. And so the idea that you could open the front door, see a beautiful fireplace, put your coat in, walk through the living room, the dining room, walk out to the outdoors without having to go through a hallway or open a door is really cool. And then the whole kitchen thing is like amazing, because kitchens used to be, off in the back somewhere and closed off, and now they've become the center of the home. And again, Edward Fickett was like the first person that took that wall down between the kitchen and the rest of the house. I think the interesting thing about this house is its location. It's kind of a corner lot, and when I first saw it, I actually came in from the back side. But most people experience it from Chandeleur, and you get this kind of really long vista with the block wall and then the house. Then you hit the driveway. I mean, you don't even see the front door until you've kind of come around a big portion of the house. And so part of what I did with the landscaping was to create a consistent rhythm across that portion of the house, so that anyone walking by or driving by sees it as a cohesive whole. We did remove a really large euphorbia cactus, which was a hard decision to make. It had kind of overgrown its location, and it disrupted kind of that rhythm of the house. Fortunately, we were able to give it away and donate parts of it, so that one cactus now is growing in multiple yards across Southern California. So all is not lost. The other thing when I first saw the house is it had this really awful driveway, and it was full of like cars that people were working on, and the entry was an enclosed courtyard rather than an open courtyard. I did struggle with this decision for a little while because I like an enclosed courtyard, but it did not seem appropriate for this house. And the more we worked on the house and the more that the inside became beautiful, I saw that we really needed to work on the outside as well. And so the big decision to put in a new driveway that was kind of appropriate for the style of the house, and then to design it so that it kind of diagonally pulled you towards the entry door, I think was really key. It's like your first impression of the house. If I was doing it for myself, I think I would have had a broader hand with color, because I really love color. And what we did here, we used color, but we used it in a very subtle way. But I would have been more bold. And so, I mean, at one point we had talked about, maybe painting the beams lime green and, doing fun stuff like that, which I probably would do. I would have some really impressive artwork on the walls. We had talked about maybe creating some privacy in the little, I guess they call it a lounge room, which is kind of a flex space. I probably would develop that as a library / yoga room or something, because it's really nice to sit and have the sun come in the afternoon and relax in that space. What else would I do? I might have sandblasted the fireplace instead of painting it, because I really like the texture of the authentic materials. I'm pretty happy with the kitchen. I might have developed the laundry area to be a little bit more accommodating, maybe create a garden room there, or more storage. But I didn't want to go so far as to limit the possibilities of the house, knowing that someone else was going to come in and make it their own. It's like, I would love to have this space be a library, but maybe they don't need a library. Maybe they need a play corner for the kids. So that's kind of a lot of the stuff that I played with. Oh, I'm thrilled that I did it. This has been a wonderful experience. And I have to say, I had the support of friends, and I had the support of really good subs, and it was not all my work. My family helped, my husband did amazing things here. And I would do it again.